Right, it's been a little while since I've dug into my Geek collection and shown off something that's been with me for a while. And I knew that I wanted to do one of these. I wasn't sure what item I wanted to select. I've ended up selecting this gorgeous steel tin, or at least metal tin, Blade Runner DVD box set. It's a Region 2 set. Now I picked this up in 2007, so it is quite a few years old now, but it's still in really good condition. So what you get here, obviously, nice little solid tin, which has helped keep the discs safe over the years. And let's have a delve inside. So the first thing you get, which is still in its packet, but I will take it out for you, is a little Blade Runner lenticular thing. I'm not sure how well that'll show up on camera for you, but look at that, it's pretty cool. Solid perspex as well, so it's pretty tough. You get a nice little foam surround there, and then inside you get the package itself. I'm going to put this tin to one side. Very solid packaging. So we get even more packaging. This is like one of those Russian dolls. If you remember when you were a kid, you would take things out and there would just, be more things inside. So we get this in a nice little slip case, and then here we get the sets themselves. Lovely artwork on the whole packaging. The packaging is pretty amazing. Some of it's a little unusual, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what we get is a whole bunch of discs, as you can see, a whole bunch of them. It is a 5-disc set. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. But before we get to the films, we get even more stuff inside. So as often with DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, you do get the box, the booklet I should say, which will give you a bit of an overview, which I'll get back to that in a minute. There's a nice little envelope in here, which if you open this, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Now I mentioned that the packaging was kind of weird, because if you look inside, I don't know how well that shows up inside, but there's actually artwork on the inside of the packaging, which is really strange because you're never actually going to be able to see all of that. So, and here are the contents of the envelope. Now you get a letter from Ridley Scott, which is talking about the final cut, which this is what the box set was advertising. Now the weird thing about this is you have to put it on a white background to be able to read it. Obviously, put it on a black one, you're not reading it. It's not happening, so you do need to put it on some sort of white background to be able to read it. It's basically Ridley Scott saying why he wanted to do the cut, and a little bit of technical stuff for it. The final cut is a product of a process that began in early 2000 and continued off and on through the 7 years of intense research and meticulous restoration, technical challenges, amazing discovery. I have included the 4 previously seen versions of the film in newly transferred anamorphic widescreen, unaltered 5.1 sound taken from archival 6 tracks. My goal was to give you the film in whatever form you prefer, with the best picture and sound quality possible. It's a nice little plasticky letter from Sir Ridley Scott himself. Now what you also get here are a selection of copies of the drawings by Sid Mead, a little bit of a thing on each side, so you get those, and if you so wish, I'm pretty sure you could put these in frames and they would look really good on a wall. And so you get the pictures on the front and then a little bit of explanation about them on the back, and they all come in that nice envelope with the pictures and the artwork on the inside. That's definitely quite strange. So let's get back to the discs. So I'm going to use the booklet for this just because it makes it easier for me. So we have disc 1 and disc 2 here. Disc 1 has the final cut, which is pretty much a definitive version of Blade Runner that is out there now, and the one, if nobody has ever seen the film, generally you recommend that they watch the final cut. The final cut has 2 commentaries on it. Both commentaries are very, very good. Disc 2 has possibly one of the best making ofs of any film ever, and it clocks in over 3 hours, and it's Dangerous Days. So if you've never seen the making of, this documentary is also on the actual Blu-ray of Blade Runner, so if you're not fortunate enough to be able to pick this rare sucker up, then you can watch Dangerous Days on that regular Blu-ray. Disc 3, you get the archival versions. So for this you get the US theatrical cut, the international theatrical cut, and the director's cut. Disc 4, the enhancement archive, they call that. Basically that has a ton of featurettes, so it's all to do with the novel versus the film. There's Philip K. Dick interviews on there, featurettes about graphic design and costume design and all that sort of stuff. So if you really want to go in depth in Blade Runner, then I would do that. Disc 4, enhancement archive. This is more trailers and the original featurettes that were around in the early 80s for the film. It's a lot to do with the promotion of the movie. And in disc 5 we get the work print, which runs 113 minutes, and obviously it is exactly what it says. It's a work print, so it's an unfinished version of Blade Runner, but it's a very cool addition to the set, which pretty much, I would say that this DVD set is the definitive version of Blade Runner that you are going to get like anywhere. The packaging is stunning. You get this cool lenticular thing. I'm not quite sure what you would do with that. I opt to just keep it inside the packaging and keep everything together. But you get these cool Sid Mead things, and you get this weird and wonderful Ridley Scott letter. So there you go. 2007 this was released. It's still in immaculate condition. You can actually pick these up on eBay. I saw one listed earlier on today for 70 quid. So, you know, I can't remember what I paid for it. I think I probably paid maybe 35, 40 or something, but so I wouldn't be selling this one for £70 anytime soon. I do have Blade Runner on Blu-ray, but it's just the one version. It's the final cut, and sometimes I do like to go back and watch the different versions of this wonderful film. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe you've got the set yourself. Which version do you go back to more than any other? I'm guessing the final cut.